Today we dive into the unforgettable life of Phyllis Diller, the woman who made millions laugh with her outrageous wigs, wild laugh and endless jokes about her lazy husband Fang. But behind the laughter was a story of heartbreak, resilience, and a strength that very few ever saw. And as you watch this till the end, you will understand why Phyllis never stopped working, even when her heart itself gave out. Born in Lima, Ohio in 1917, Phyllis grew up in a home surrounded by older parents and constant funerals. While most children feared death, Phyllis became oddly comfortable with dark subjects, a comfort that later became the foundation of her comedy. She struggled with loneliness, poverty, and disappointment. But rather than break under the pressure, she built humor out of her pain, a skill that would change her life and inspire generations. As a child, she showed brilliance in music, even performing at conservatories. But the Great Depression crushed her family's finances and forced her to give up her dream of becoming a professional pianist. Her early marriage brought more hardship, with constant moves, financial struggles, and a husband who refused steady work. She buried a child, suffered miscarriages, and faced postpartum depression, yet she hid her pain by cracking jokes, eventually finding herself drawn to the voices of comedians she heard on the radio. They planted a seed that would bloom in the most unexpected way. By the 1950s, while raising 5 children in poverty, Phyllis tried writing articles for small pay, then radio scripts, and eventually, her husband pushed her to try comedy. Her first shows were humiliating, but instead of quitting, she used failure as fuel. And in 1955, at age 37, she stepped on stage at San Francisco's Purple Onion. Within minutes, she had the crowd in stitches, joking about her looks, her terrible cooking, and her chaotic home life. The club kept her for nearly 2 years straight. And from that moment, Phyllis Diller had arrived. She reinvented herself with wigs, loud costumes, and a cigarette holder that became her trademark. While other women tried to look glamorous, Phyllis owned her flaws and made them funny. Soon she was on national television, recording hit albums and touring across the country, storing more than 50,000 handwritten jokes in her files. Her speed, wit, and self-deprecating humor broke barriers in a male-dominated industry, opening doors for women like Joan Rivers and Roseanne Barr. But behind the laughter, Phyllis carried heartbreaking secrets. One of her daughters, Sally, battled schizophrenia and spent her life in institutions. And for over 30 years, Phyllis visited her every single week without fail, keeping it hidden from the world. She buried children, suffered failed marriages, and even when she collapsed from exhaustion or when her heart literally stopped in 1999, she came back to the stage, refusing to give up. Even in failure, she turned losses into legend. From canceled sitcoms to failed records, she always bounced back with a louder laugh. She joined Bob Hope on USO tours during Vietnam, bringing smiles to soldiers in war zones. And she became a household name on shows like Hollywood Squares, Match Game, and The Muppet Show. Her cackle was everywhere, shaping comedy itself. In her personal life, she struggled through 2 failed marriages, one filled with emotional abuse and financial ruin, but later found quiet companionship with Robert Hastings, who loved her until his death. Through all of it, Phyllis kept her grief private, masking it with the outrageous character her fans adored. She wasn't afraid to talk about plastic surgery when no one else dared, openly admitting to more than a dozen procedures, turning even that into comedy and winning awards for her honesty. She became a style icon in drag culture, a hero to the LGBTQ community, and even reinvented herself as a painter in her later years. By the time she passed away in 2012, at the age of 95, Phyllis Diller had lived through unimaginable loss, burying 4 of her 6 children. But she never let the world see her broken. Instead, she left behind a legacy of laughter, resilience, and boldness that made comedy safer and freer for everyone who came after her. She showed the world that even in pain, humor could be a weapon of survival. Her ashes were scattered at sea, and she left this world the way she had lived it, smiling through the struggle. making sure the last sound people remembered was laughter. Phyllis Diller's story is not just about comedy. It is about survival, courage, and breaking barriers. And if her journey moved you today, make sure you subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon, because we will continue bringing you the untold stories of Hollywood's most fascinating legends.